Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 34 of Kenshi. So before we get going, I just want to go over a tip I received. This was mentioned to me a fair few times, but I'll credit at least the last person that mentioned it to me. Maybe that's not fair, but that's just how it's going to go. Gear Hansen, he mentioned the best way to level up my Pingu, my bull here, would be to have the bull follow the hauler. And I think that's a great idea, so I will do that. Now that I have a decent amount of food, I can go about getting the bulls sort of out of bed and running around because I will have the food to feed it. Food was a problem before. It is no longer a problem. So Pingu here is going to follow Jafar. Then additionally, the iron refinery now doesn't need human intervention. It doesn't require a person to manage it. It is automatic in a way. So I'm going to set Jafar, the hauler, up to top. The most important thing he'll do will be to haul to it. And that way we get the iron plates rolling off the line. And then the second important thing for... Ooh, I just gave that to Aramid. The second important thing will be to haul to the iron plates. And that way, we are keeping the iron refinery at the highest possible maximum efficiency that we can afford. And I think that's probably a pretty good idea. So this episode might not be as action-packed as all the others. Oh, let me also fix one thing. So if you ever have terrain clipping into your buildings like this, it is possible to either rebuild it or to fix it in post. So I click the defensive gate and I can click orientation or move. I'm just going to move this one up just a scooch, and it is already a lot more attractive. This way, you can fix any of your buildings after the fact and make them look a lot more attractive than they were before. So we are on our return trip. It looks like Voth is probably still the slowest person here. Griffin is getting targeted by a bone dog, I guess. All right, let's ignore that bone dog. We want to bring everyone back home to the outpost. Speaking of outpost, I wanted to announce that today I will be putting up a poll that accompanies this episode, and the poll will include all of the ideas for the names of the outposts that the patrons supplied, and you all, anyone listening, can go and vote on what the outpost is named. And then additionally, the next poll that I'll put out is the names of the squads. For now, I obviously have two squads, the Citizens and the Raiden. So we will get that poll out to you shortly. I just wanted to do one poll at a time so as to not be confusing, and at least to give you all something to look forward to. So the grain silo is not something I'm likely to upgrade in the near future because it's a great way to grind out farming levels. But the looms, however, are just general labor. And as you can see, my storage for cotton, for instance, is full up. So I would like to get the research for automatic looms done soon. Eventually, the mining tech will be next, but the looms got to come first. So cotton is the first one I want. Rhadamant's heading back first ahead of everyone else so that he can run some errands for me as well. So one of the reasons why we're constantly low on plates is the weaponsmith, but the weaponsmith, alas, Molly, is also mining. So what I'm going to have, instead of when she's mining, we will have her operating these looms. At this point, all of our farms for fabric are all laid out. We might need some additional love for the fruit or the vegetable and cactus farm, grain fruit, I was going to call it. But for now, I think our food production is it's going to ramp up as soon as this crew gets here with their giant delivery of food. So you can see Rhadamant's already on the horizon, so it's only a matter of time until he'll be delivering his meat and fowl meat. Now the fowl raw meat, I can keep some on the hivers as well because they'll eat it. And then this episode is mostly going to be a staging episode in order to get ready for a lot more fun content. We're getting to the point where once we start rolling mastercrafted armor off the line, we will have the ability to take on much tougher enemies, which is very exciting. I will also need to roll out a steel refinery. The steel refinery takes iron plates, so it might make sense to have it close to the building. We'll lay that out there. And Rhadamant's here. Let's pop the door open. And look for Pingu. And this will take a little bit of time, unfortunately. I should have brought Pingu with me. That's why I have Pingu leveling up his or her level. Because we ought to have had Pingu running around the whole time, but obviously I did not do that. So instead, to rectify the situation, I'll have Pingu level up the athletics skill now, and we should be all set. Another thing I wanted to do is in the AI here, I'm going to turn off... Actually, I'll turn on ditch items, but what I think I want to do is just disable the meta crate. And the reason being is it is extraordinarily annoying when everyone always puts their medical supplies away, and I don't want to encourage that. Same with robotics, actually. Robotics will suffer the same problem. Now that Rhadamant's here, I will pretty much immediately head back out. I'm going to head to Mongrel first. I'm heading to Mongrel ideally to buy a few helmets. Voth and Hobbs and Orin, I think it is. No. A few of them have really extraordinarily bad helmets. So that's something high up on my list to remedy. As you can see, Rhadamant is significantly faster. He made it here, and all the others are so far behind. Bard, where are you going? Oh, there's severed arms. Yep. He's burning up the arms. Another thing I could do for money is to sell the armor that Chung, Shrike, Molly, Heft, Bard have on. That's probably something I'll consider soon. So Rhadamant is going to be shopping around for crossbows, bolts, because we can't, at this moment, craft them. To level up crossbows, one really important thing to consider is until you're somewhat proficient with the crossbow, you really ought to use a really bad one. And the reason being is friendly fire does exist. You need to friendly fire because it levels up your precision, which prevents friendly fire. Basically, the more times you hit your own teammates, the better you get at not hitting your own teammates. I know, weird, but the net result is if you put a really, really powerful crossbow on a character that is not very good at using crossbows, you're going to shred your teammates. There's just no way around that. So that's something I would absolutely like to avoid. It appears as if our iron refinery is full-time working. I think that although Rhadamant has a move order, that is a lie. I think he was pacing. I just observe him and stop him from pacing. Everyone else has arrived at the base. So what I'm going to be doing now is ditching their food and whatnot. There are a lot of them that are just basically topped up full of food or sleeping bags in Kang's case. And also ditching the wooden backpacks. Ideally, the farmers and haulers would have the wooden backpacks. That will be a lot more efficient than everyone having 2 backpacks the way we had it now, which is just a kind of a useless and somewhat terrible idea. But this will take a little bit of time, so I apologize. I know this isn't the most compelling video content, but this is, at its core, part of the game, which is to say inventory management, resource gathering. You don't build a town out of nothing. All right, so Ruka and Kang are all set. Once the Shek are all set, I'll just have them go nap. And eventually we'll get all of our guys here to the point where they will have their inventories sorted and put away. Are we close enough? Oh, we are close enough. I'm not sure why he has building materials in his inventory. But I'm actually not going to wait. The meat I'm just going to give away to Green. No, Green has no room. Okay, beep. And then Voth goes to sleep. Or on. Some of these backpacks might have medical supplies. I'll figure out which ones do and fix it later. Rhadamant looks like he's almost in Mongrel. And we're in Mongrel to be on the lookout for some helmets and crossbows. One really good place to get crossbows is Hub. I did intend to go to Hub, but then I got a little sidetracked with all those big things. Those big things took a fair bit of our attention and time and effort. Profitable. Now that the food shortage that we had running for a bit has been really truly sorted. I think. I'm trying to do this as quickly and as painlessly as I can. If you know of a way to automatically put rotten meat away, I would love to know it. Everything else, I think, can be hauled to their respective containers, but I don't think the fowl meat has a container. Maybe it's the trough, the animal trough. That's probably the case. So in the future, I will make an animal trough, and they should put the food away automatically. But for now, the solution is just to put it on Pengu. Then put the raw meat away, so then we can make meat wraps. It's hard to believe that Griffin literally didn't have anything hauled. We definitely are going to need some more bolts. Stubbs is just about out. So now I know all of my humans have put their stuff away. I'm going to keep some fowl meat on the hivers because the hivers will prefer that over other food sources if they have it on them, and they don't mind. There's no penalty or problem feeding it to them. In fact, Green can carry extra, as he is doing. Maybe not that much extra, because I do want space for bolts. Rhadamant's aimless, so that means that he's in or near Mongrel. So Silver Shade and Beep and Green, I'll give jobs in a second. Give the robots mining jobs. Some of them need to heal. Alright, just Beep needs to heal. So Hamet, get up, and Beep is going to heal. Alright, standing around. Hamet, you can be an engineer. Let's close this gate. And Green, you can be an engineer. Perfect. Now everyone's doing something. I did send Rhadamant up here to potentially buy some research books, as well as other things. Crossbows, armor, that kind of thing. We actually have a lot of money from the recent trades we did. So I'm going to buy some fabric, some research books, some armor plates. I'm not going to buy anything else from these guys. Now, they do have a backpack store, but I think I'm really mostly after thief backpacks. Speaking of backpacks, Jafar, we're going to want to give you one of these wooden backpacks. Make sure it's empty. It is. Okay. And then the farmers. So Bark, Gecko, or really Bark and... Bard? Who? Heft. Sorry. That's who it is. I should group them together. Alright. Bard, you are... Don't need one. Bark wouldn't mind one. Oh, we gave one. Gecko, maybe, because Gecko is a farmer when she's done doing the grain silo work. And then ideally, I would like the first, everyone in the initial, or like 1 through 10 to have sleeping bags, I guess is the way to put it. And ideally, I would have everyone also have... okay, Griffin's not going to have a sleeping bag because that will go to Rhadamant. Good, good. We are all set there. Alright, we need, I think, 3 helmets. Let me do a quick count. One of them has a really terrible helmet. So, Voth needs a helmet. Hobbs. Voth and Hobbs. Okay, 2. That is a manageable number. And that's literally what they have, so that's perfect. I'm not even sure what I'm looking for anymore, so I'll just stop. Some more research books wouldn't be terrible. I'd love to start making the shirt slots in higher quantity, because we definitely have not been doing that. I do plan on doing more bounties, but I want to get sort of prepared and geared up for it. So I won't be taking on any of these yet. Some of them would mess me up pretty hard. Actually, probably just about all of them. We're just not that strong yet in the scheme of things. Some masterwork armor of every slot would be pretty ideal. Looks like the steel refinery is just about done, though. It's moments from being done. Nice. And there it is. So steel refineries takes iron plates and turn them into steel bars. Steel bars are going to be used for weapons and crossbow bolts and stuff like that. Not the crossbow bolts I'll be using initially, because those bolts are a little bit easier to craft up. So Pingu's Athletics are going up over time. That is a lot of meat. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50, 150, 163 meat. All right. He can't figure out how to move back down here. No problem. This tower is also about done. Once this tower is done, the base will be a lot more safe once I get a crossbow up there. Or a few. Because it will take a... I'm not saying that the defenders won't be able to bash down the walls. They will eventually. But in the meantime, some decently trained crossbowmen could probably head snipe a whole bunch of them from, you know, being able to break in. So at the moment, we don't have use of steel. Until we have a use of steel, I don't think I'm going to prioritize making it. Now, checking the industry we've got, we would like to be able to do crossbow bolts, which just requires standard books. And then I'm going to buy a bunch of junk crossbows and have my guys, especially the ones with katanas, use crossbows initially, much the way Green does, but then switch over to their katanas once they close. And that way I can have like an opening salvo, a volley of sorts. Come on, you're getting close enough. Oh, did I just lock that? Come on. Doors open and unlocked. That was my bad. This fabrics box is not in a very convenient place. But here's the armor plating, and then the helmets are going to go to Hobbs and Voth, I think it was. Yep. And we have another special. Let's give that to you. And this will definitely make the guys take more damage. They were previously sort of easy to beat up, and I think we fixed that. So, Chung, let's put that ancient book in there and get some automatic industry. Cotton or hemp? Therein lies the question. I think I'm going to go with cotton. Ideally both, in the future both, but cotton will start us off strong. There's also some clubs for us to sell. He'll be quite weighted. Actually, not that encumbered. Encumbered for sure, but not. I think I'll actually leave this stuff until not encumbered. So I'm just running some quick errands. I don't need to make them any longer than they are already. And we will run to the hub. So if we check, yeah, we're definitely rolling dust witches and meat wraps off the line. Pengu here is guaranteed to level up some of that lovely athleticism that we so desperately want, so he can become part of the team. We're getting the automatic cotton loom. That will allow more weaponsmithing and armor smithing. Ideally, I would even possibly have 2 armor smiths for the money. I think we made the bed. Yeah, we did make the bed. You can go to sleep. Green, burn, you could work, actually. So all the beds are full. This is a somewhat well-oiled base here. I think, Molly, what I'm going to have you do is work on hemp now. Because cotton's about to be automated. Or not about, but soon. Soon to be automated. Another thing I really ought to start doing is to rolling out the standard first aid kits. That would not be a bad idea. I got rid of the Metacrate so that we wouldn't keep putting it away automatically. That's probably the most annoying part of the AI, is putting things away that we really ought not to. So now that we don't have max capacity cotton, we're pretty close, but we'll work on hemp because at this point we're just running out of places to store it. How's our iron? Iron's low-ish. It'd be good to get automatic mining sooner than later. Are you a Prince group? You sure look it. You are a Prince group. Well. I think you all know what I'm going to do. Extra thick 6,000. I like how just right-clicking on him and aggroing him is like, everyone's like, all right, snap 2. It is very easy to lose track of him, though. Come on, guys. How did he... Oh. That might be a little bit of a problem for the future. Fogman just managed to climb my walls. It might have been one of those freak things that only happens ever once, but... Sadneil, you're going to go back in the base. I guess if I get rid of my ramps, it won't ever be a problem. Alright, come on. He runs a 22. Green, you can catch him, right? There we go. Piss him off with green, run him around. Have green kite the heavies back to the rest of the group. Attack all, and the rest is history. Goodbye, Prince. Oh, everyone's also set to passive. That would also be one of the issues. Let me fix that. Rhadamant's getting pretty close to the hub. Now, I did speculate that it would be a good idea to have one of these fogmen as a prisoner. If I could find an appropriate medic. Crumble would be one such medic. Eventually, everyone will have medicine on them. But let's go ahead and first aid this heavy. And then Kang, you get the head. This heavy was cheaper to first aid. Well, they're both pretty cheap. Alright, Crumble. Pick them up. And everyone head back into base. If you do set up in the Fog Islands, it is a pretty good idea to keep your eyes open, because there is potentially a lot of treasure to be had. And it doesn't take very long to grab it. Sadneil, you definitely won your fight. I don't know where the heavy is. But I had Sadneil double back because one heavy breached the walls somehow, getting through it. Glitch or otherwise. Alright, Crumble, let's put your prisoner in prison. Then hibernate pretty much everyone. I think I picked the most wounded person to put the prisoner in. Okay, so we have the prisoner all set. Rhadamant must be where he was heading. Sadneil's still repairing. Yep, just outside of hub. Now, while I'm here, I could also be on the lookout for backpacks from the shinobi thieves, too. If I had all of my main crew with thief backpacks, that'd be pretty ideal. That's kind of what I'm going for. Alright, so they did have crossbows, as I thought and hoped. It doesn't really matter how crappy they are. In fact, the crappier the better. The decent ones that I just bought, I can give to the people like Green who already can shoot. I'm a little encumbered, but that's not going to stop me from potentially buying some additional backpacks. Burn. Bard. Oh, Bard. Feel like there's something better for you to do when you're idle. Maybe the steel refinery. Eventually I'll have them all like permanent jobs. Right now it's all kind of in flux. Partially because things are becoming automated that weren't previously. Give me a second. It's going to freeze up a sec. I'm rebuilding the mesh data. Are you the trader? No, you're the plastic surgeon. You're the trader. You are the boss, man. Oh, I haven't joined yet, have I? Yeah, that would be a thing, right? So if I join, I'm not really going to be able to afford to buy anything. But that's still what I'm going to do. Where is the boss? I think they're at the front door. Yep, thief boss. I'm just an idiot. Walked right by him. And basically, they're just like, the only thing you have to do is pay us to join. And then my character was like, really? And they're like, yep, that's it. And they don't even have the backpack I'm looking for. So, not that I can really afford much else, but I'm going to start heading home. Well, you know there's no work to be done on the farm when you're output full. Yeah, that's true. Let's upgrade to the auto loom. Then the output won't be full all the time. So when the robots are home, there'll be the iron miners. So we are low on iron. We are slowly decreasing in power. Well, not actually all that slow. We do have we are a little deficient in power. That's probably because I've been adding stuff like the steel refinery, and you know it's currently inactive, but the iron refinery 3, so on and so forth. They are all going to draw a little bit more power. So with that in mind, we can add to our beautiful power grid by adding some small wind generators up here. For low wind areas, the small generators are pretty efficient. The reason I really like it is you invest once and you profit for basically ever. Alright, so the auto loom is auto looming. If auto looming is a word I may use. And then the hivers are just going to mine some copper. I don't care what node it is. That's why I'm assigning all of them in different orders. So when we're home, when the army's home, they all have jobs. The hives will engineer, and then they will mine copper, and then the skeletons will mine the iron. Ideally, I would have some home people mining iron too, but it's currently not what we have. I'm working on the building materials. We can always change over to iron at some point in the future. In fact, Chung would be also pretty well set up to create the first aid goods. So where is Rhadamant exactly? Trying to find him just next to Hub. Weren't we there? Like, why isn't he left yet? There we go. Nope, you are pacing. I can see you pacing. So let's go in there and force you to move. Ah, was there a battle? Were you fighting? So Admiral as it is to help the common man. I think it's equally important that I get you home. So we're almost meeting. One more of these built and we'll have met our power requirements. There we go. Now it's back to increasing. It's a little mesmerizing. One of the reasons to put it on the roof is I don't have to look at it all the time. And I think I'm just going to go and pull the trigger and dismantle the larger one I had, as it doesn't serve us quite as nicely. So the big old tower here is all set up. The first thing I'm going to do is add 3 mounted crossbows that point down to the gate. So if I ever have gate intrusions, I can shoot as many of the people trying to pound the gate until, you know, they get through it all, but that will be very, very useful, I think. Now, one thing occurred to me is I don't exactly have steel storage. Some steel bars, so they're kind of big. Let's see if I can't nestle. No, can't really nestle them in there. I'll put them here. How are you still at Hub? What is wrong with you? You're clearly not coming. Just gonna turn off splinting and just turn off all the other jobs. I have no idea what job would have kept Rhadamant down there. Okay, so now that we have some steel bar storage, I'm gonna have Heft dump the steel bars I have in general storage into them. There's not a lot of storage space. Is this masterwork by now? No, still not masterwork. I'm not saying specialist grade is bad. I'm just... was really hoping for some masterwork stuff. Why are you out here, Burn? Wait, what is going on? Get back inside. What would scrawny cannibals want to do with you anyway? You have no meat on you. You aren't meat. Why are you that far out? Questions I don't have answers to. I'm certainly not opposed to the fighting. I'm just curious as to why he'd even bother. Okay, so one of these crossbows is done. Yes. There is a height advantage for crossbows. So the higher up it is, the better. And you're probably wondering, why didn't I build here? I just couldn't find valid pathing there. That's why. Plus, the height difference is only going to add a few damage one way or another. Oh, that's why they wanted you. These skeletons still have meat on them. I never ditched their... Yeah, I sort of assumed their inventories were empty for some unknown and incorrect reason. So, let's fix that. That's why the cannibals were after you guys. Because you had inventories full of meat. Now everything's making sense. Alright, that's all squared away. We do have one more wooden backpack. Aramid. Let's give it to you, the cook. And as soon as Rhadamant comes back... Are you back at Hub? No. Alright. I'm actually just going to end the episode here. I think it's gone on long enough. As you all have noticed, it is setting up so that we can get better armor, better arms, and get ready to hunt some high-level bounties. That's what I would love to do. I really need to work on weapons and armor. That is my weak point. Without the weapons and armor, we can't really attack tougher enemies to level up the skill. If you have any tips for me, drop me a line. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I do hope that you tune in next time. I'll catch you all later, and adios.